the domain of the Khazarian, right here. See the 6-point star right there? Look where the cross here, the Islamic here. This is Hungary up here. This was the Holy Roman Empire. Here's Italy here. And Rome is here. The Khazarians were bankers that lent money to kings and emperors in this time frame that we're looking at. They are the ones who bankrolled the rise of Rome here under the Holy Roman Empire, right? Their adversaries was Greece. And the Greeks were who Alexander rose up under. Alexander was a plant, the same as George Washington, the same as Muhammad Karzai, because they needed him to perform a function, and the only military at the time that was strong enough to do it was the Greek, that was a non-African military. If you watch, they never go in to confront what we call the Candace Queens. The Candace Queens were a group of African warrior women in Ethiopia, and they nothing they can do with the Candace Queens. So I'm gonna show you who they were. You look up the Candace Queens. I'm not gonna go into reading on them. I'm just gonna show y'all some of the images of what they looked at like. I want y'all to see the Candace Queens. You see? Queen Candace, she was one of them that they was named after because of what they call the Sybil effect. All women who believed and felt the same way could carry that title as a name. So you might have Candace Michelle, Candace Marie, but they would all be called a Candace, the same as if you call somebody officer, right? Empress of Ethiopia and General-in-Chief of his armies, waiting for Alexander the Great to cross his punk ass to the new borderline of the First Cataract. Alexander, having conquered Egypt easily, decided against the invasion of the ancient center of black power and halted his army at the First Cataract. Look at the year. Master number 33.2. Look. Ta Seti. This is the same word when I told you that Ta mean earth. This mean the land of Set. That's what that means. Ta Seti mean the land of Set. Now check this out. This is a Nubian queen, right? This is the land that they call Miro. Now, me and some Moors had a very extensive dialogue about Miro, and I got that recorded in letters. But when you look, you see them. It's not a secret. You see it right here? Now, they want you to believe that those Europeans who popped up out of nowhere were strong enough to defeat these empires. They weren't. They had to have somebody that was us. It had to be somebody like us. Somebody with our knowledge, somebody that has celestial knowledge, somebody that was a blue blood. Right? Now, as we move on through the thumbnails, you see there's 12 tribes of Israel. We're going to go through them because you're not going to see a Khazar, an Ashkenazi, or a Sephardi. Look, one of them is Reuben. The second is Simon. The third is Judah. The fourth is Levi. The fifth is Issachar. The sixth is Zebulun. The seventh is Benjamin. The eighth is Dan. The ninth is Asher. The 12th is Gad. And Joseph which was part of the tribe of Gad. And Israel itself as the over tribe makes 13. Right? Did anybody see Ashkenazi, Khazar, or Sephardi in there? Let me go up here and see what's going on in my inbox. I don't see who you talking to. Yeah. I don't know what Joshua said. I don't even see his comment in there. Now, when you go and you see that there's no tribe of Sephardi, Ashkenazi, or Khazar, the next question is, who the hell are those people claiming to be Jews? So none of them exist. Ashkenazi, Sephardi, Khazar, they don't exist in the 12 tribes. So who the hell are they? Let's see, let's keep it on. Let's keep on moving through these thumbnails. Dinah, the 13th tribe. That's because actually Dinah is the matriarch of the tribes of Israel. She's actually Diana, which is actually Inanna, which is actually Isis, which goes back to the name Abraham, meaning the heart of Ra, and the only one called the heart of Ra in the Book of the Dead or anywhere else was what we call the Queen of Heaven and Earth, Isis. So she was the heart of God that became known as Abraham when they distorted the book and tried to take our teachings. Now, when we look, Mount Zion is where Zionism is supposed to be referring you to, right? Now, this says that Mount Zion is a Hebrew term, is a hill in Jerusalem located just outside the walls of the old city. The term Mount Zion has been used in the Hebrew Bible first for the city of David and later for the Temple Mount, but its meaning has shifted. They just told you, they just changed the meaning. And it is now used for the name of ancient Jerusalem Western Hill. In a wider sense, the term is also used for the entire land of Israel. Now, they tricking us, and I'm going to show you why. This word Zion, it's talking about the Mount of Sion in Babylon. They call it Gobekli Tepe. And this is where the fallen ones landed before they started wreaking all this havoc. So we go from Mount Zion and we look a little deeper and we find Mount Sionai, because the Z and the S is the same. It's the same place. But they say Mount Sinai, right? Now remember, the last one they told you they moved it. They changed it. Now watch this. Also known as Mount Moses, is a mountain in the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. Now this one is in Egypt, but it's the same thing. That is a possible location of possible, speculative, meaning misdirection, location of the biblical Mount Sinai, right? Which is considered a holy site by the Abrahamic religions. Mount Sinai is mentioned many times in the book of Exodus and other books of the Bible and the Quran. According to Jewish, Christian, Islamic tradition, the biblical Mount Sinai was a place where Moses received the 10 Commandments. Now, they're still giving you misdirection because, look, a possible location, that's speculative, which means this is not the truth, right? And then they tell you over here that it is considered a holy site. And we all know that the holy sites are always kept sacred. And if you keep them sacred, you got to keep them secret. So that means that everywhere they told us that is so far, that's not where it's at. That's not Zion. But I'm going to show you where it's at before it's over. You understand it a little better. Okay, it says, okay, now this word is 2 words, sin S-I-N, and A-I. Now, in Egypt, the word that you use in the Hebrew, E-L, is capital A, apostrophe, capital A, and it's pronounced Aya instead of Ao. That's the difference. So this is Lord seeing. Actually, what this is saying, Lord seeing. Well, is this verifiable? If Ai in Kemetic means like chieftain or lord, then seeing would have to have be a personal pronoun or a title. So there was a god named Seeing in Babylon. Let's see. This is the ziggurat of Ur. Remember Ur the Chaldees, right? See this ziggurat of Ur? This is supposed to be is a neo or new Sumerian ziggurat in what was the city of Ur near Nicaea in present-day Dehechar province, Iraq. The structure was built during the early Bronze Age but had crumbled to ruins by the 6th century BCE of the new Babylonian period when it was restored by the king. Now look, they're just telling you it was destroyed by the 6th century. So when the 6th century came around, this didn't exist. Now remember the Tower of Babel. It was a ziggurat and it was destroyed. Right? Now look, this one, they rebuilt it. This ain't the original. It tell you right here. The structure was built during the early Bronze Age but had crumbled to ruins by the 6th century of the new Babylonian period. That means it wasn't there in the 6th century, but they rebuilt it. Now watch this. When you go over here and you find out now, let's go to the top so y'all know what we're looking at. This is the God seeing. This, when they call you a sinner, they lying to you and thinking that it's something you're doing wrong. That's not the case. The God seeing has a particular set of practices that makes you a sinner by following his method. But we got to find out who he is. Now, we already did discover that the Khazars talk about Mount Zion. Mount Zion is Mount Sion, and Mount Sion is the Sionai, and the Sionai is the Sionai or Lord seeing, which is an Egyptian Lord Set or Set in. E-N mean Lord. So it means Lord Set. Now we're talking about Satan the devil. Who in the hell is he? Now we get into this and we understand that the word seeing or suing, now all Nubians gonna automatically know what's going on now. Because your Pops talk about this pretty heavy in the Nubian literature. When he talk about the tablets of Zuin or Nzu. Look, I'm not making this shit up. It's all here. I'm using common reference sites so y'all can look it up. I know it off the head from studying, but I gotta show it to y'all because I don't got no alphabets, and y'all think that mean they know something and they actually the enemy. Now, Nana, notice the word Nana. What y'all call Big Mama? Nana is a Sumerian deity, the son of Enlil and Ninlil, and became identified with the Semitic sin. Right? I'm not making this shit up. You can look it up. Now, let's go down here to the seat of worship. Nana's chief sanctuary at Ur. Now, the word Ur means fire, and I'm going to come back to that. Was named E-Gishur-Gal, House of the Great Light. Right? It was at Ur that the role of the En priestess, you see that word En? That's the priestess of the Lord, or the Lord's priestess, developed. This was an extremely powerful role held by a princess, most notably Enheduanna, in the earliest known poet whose name has been recorded. She was the high priestess of the goddess Inanna and the moon god Nana, seeing. Now look, the moon god Sin. She lived in the Sumerian city-state of right? There go the word again. That means fire. Now we're going to go to that later. But I'm going to keep mentioning so y'all, when I go to it, y'all know what I'm talking about and why I'm going there. Now, daughter of King Sargon. Sargon was the first king. Sargon the Great. Was supposed to be the first Sumerian king and was the primary cult role associated with the cult of Nana Sin. Right? So now Sin had a definite god named Sin, a definite place of worship called which was the city of fire, but they called it in the native tongue Agishurgal, which means the house of the great light, which Pharaoh mean the house of the light, or the lighthouse, or the bearer of the light of the house. So when you see Sin also had a sanctuary at city of Haran named El Huhu, house of joys, debauchery. Remember, it said the cult of the moon god spread to other sinners, so that the temples to him are found in all large cities of Babylonia. Now remember, I told y'all we're gonna go right back to Babylon with this shit, and Assyria. And sanctuary for Sin with Syriac inscription invoking his name dating back to the 2nd and 3rd century CE was found at Sumatra, Harabesi, and Tek Mountains, not far from Haran and Edessa. Now, when you're looking at this, what is you seeing? You seeing that there's a temple worship location where Sin was worshipped as a god. Those who worship Sin in modern terminology will be called a sinner. But those who wanted to rebuild this temple of Sin would be called Zionists or Sionists, because this would be their area of interest. Now notice, modern so-called Jews say anti-Zionism is not anti-Jewish or not anti-Semitic. They separate themselves. This is why. Because these are those Moors that sold us out. Those are the ones we had to go back and get the secret from. Now watch this. Now, this is the cult of the female Illuminati that I'm pulling up now. If I didn't accidentally delete it, I did. Okay, breaks down the whole construct of he break down the whole construct of the political structure and how they set it up and how they hide behind politics in order to effectuate their plan. So this is a necessary reference. Here's another reference. This is a novel, but don't lose the theme. Watch this. Now, we tend to take this, look at the name of the author. E.D.E.N. Southworth. That means this is an encoded book. There's a secret in this book, right? And they tell you, right, how to find it. But look, check it out. Southworth was one of the most popular, prolific writers of the 19th century. In her Capitola Black or Black Cap, a cross-dressing, adventure-seeking woman was so well loved that the book was serialized 3 times between 1859 and 1888. See them triple eights? And was dramatized in 40 different versions. This is a seat of power. When we first meet sharp and witty Capitola, now keep in term the name, right? Look at the name. That's a Spanish name. But the book is English, The Hidden Hand, right? But it goes on. she is living among beggars and street urchins, and dresses as a boy because a boy can get work and be safe, whereas a girl is left to starve for want of proper employment. Unknown to her, Capitola, and this is capitalism they're talking about here, has a very rich elderly guardian who finds her at a providential moment and takes her back to his palatial mansion, where she finds herself decomposing above ground for want of having my blood stirred. The blood rites. And this is talking about the crucifixion of the Christ. Right? So this is all coded.